million Muslim March 2013 and the 2 million bikers, Washington, D.C., rally expected on anniversary today. We're going to be following this today as it's ongoing. We're going to be going over the fact that the violations of the First Amendment are only selectively engaged in. Well, 2 million bikers have already begun to arrive in Washington, D.C. They were denied a permit. They had been given the permit in the past to have their 9/11 rides, but the new kleptocratic, openly anti-liberty crew that is in full control of D.C. Is denying the First Amendment.
Yep, 12 years later, some patriotic bikers were ready to ride through the Washington, D.C., honoring those who lost their lives on September 11th, despite being denied a permit. It's sparking outrage because another group got that permit and was granted a permit to rally. That group, Million Americans Against Fear Rally, which was the Million Muslim March, as you know. So will the bikers ride anyway without a permit? With us right now is the co-organizers of the 2 million bikers to D.C. rally, Belinda B. Belinda, what was the problem? What did they tell you that stopped you?
So what did the bikers do? They responded, and they've been trying to get the permit for several months. They responded, and they're just now starting to arrive on the city edge. They've responded, 2 million of them, it's estimated. They have responded by saying, we're now going to take our time, and we're now going to stop at every red light, and we're now going to shut the city down, because that's exactly what the non-permitting has done. And, of course, D.C. responded by saying, well, then you're not allowed to. Well, you know what? They've paid their little taxes for their privilege to travel. It's not really a privilege. It's a right. And so they're just going to be there, 2 million of them as individuals, and all the D.C. workers and all the anti-gun people and all the folks that love tyranny so much in D.C., you're going to have the First Amendment exercised on you.
Basically, you're talking about PC, the Parks Department?
Yep.
Basically, they told us that a permit would not be granted because it was a weekday. It would disrupt the residents of D.C., and they didn't want any of the roads blocked off because there was only, and when I told her that there were, 12 other rallies that I knew of, she said that no, they only had a permit for one rally. And I've already been invited to 4 other rallies today.
So you're not buying it. What do you think's behind it?
Oh, well, it's a political agenda, and the main reason why is because it started off as 2 million bikers to protest the Million Muslim March.
And I have been to the Third World. I've been to Central America, you name it, and I've never been treated like I've been treated every time I've been in D.C. by police. And I've been there 5 times the last decade. No, more than that. 7 times. I've been to D.C. 7 times in the last decade, and I have never seen the police act more abusive and arrogant and evil. Now, you go right outside in Virginia, places like Chantilly, super nice, super professional, and a lot of them are listeners. D.C., it's hellish. And I know we have some federal marshals that listen, and there's some people, the Secret Service, that aren't bad. But, I mean, the average cops they've got out there, and the security guards are even worse. And I don't want to digress off into it, but I've been there with film crews, you name it. There is no permit in D.C. to film. You can be, because they know in the courts they can't make you. You can be 200 yards from the Washington Monument every time it's happened to us. And the police walk over and go, shut that down. You don't have a permit. There is no permit. It's the First Amendment, but the city doesn't offer them. Okay, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. I'm going to tell you one more time. You stop filming, or I'm going to put you in handcuffs right now. And you're like, well, I got stuff to do, but all right, you're violating my First Amendment. I'm going to show everybody this video. We've shown you the videos, and they go, I don't care what you do. You know what? I'm thinking I'm going to just go ahead. I mean, it is North Korea, ladies and gentlemen. And so what a beautiful thing to see 2 million patriots on the anniversary of 9/11 show up down there in defiance of this violation of the First Amendment. And we're going to be covering it today. We're going to be covering it top story in the aftermath on the nightly news tonight. 7 o'clock Central. This is a big deal. And the latest developments, the live video feeds, all of it, we're posting them right now to Infowars.com for everybody so you can follow this. But it is certainly going to be interesting. But why would they allow a million Muslim march in D.C.? And why would they allow previous motorcycle rallies in D.C. on the 9/11 anniversary? They have them in New York and D.C. The last 11 years they've had them. On the 1-year anniversary, and it just gets bigger and bigger. Why would they say, we're going to refuse your permit? Where they could easily get them through the city in an hour, get them out of there, limited problems. Why would they refuse and say, by the way, we better not see anybody, you know, we're going to try to stop groups of people together?
Well, you know, because of the way it started off, I'm sure that mixed message, when we changed it, and that's when it went viral, is when we changed the theme of it. But I'm pretty sure that because of that, you know, the protest. So
now you got mainly a bunch of combat veterans on motorcycles rolling in against the bizarre Soviet-style weirdo female police chief who wears like a Scientologist admiral outfit, who violates federal and state law when they say you can't have these gun bans. 5 years later, it's still in place. And they're saying they're going to go after, at least they were a few days ago. In fact, when you guys search the term, you know, police D.C. bikers, because I remember a few days ago I saw, they're like, well, you better not. Nope, it's unpermitted. We will give citations. What are you going to do? Start trying to give 1 million people, 2 million people citations? They're just going to start riding around you. What are you going to do, start tasering some people? You want to go ahead and just start a fight with 2 million veterans? This is how it's going to happen, just like Lexington and Concord, is people are going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And then patriots are not going to take it anymore, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, they started rolling out before dawn this morning from all over, converging from all over the East Coast on the District of Criminals. And this is symbolic of the defiance of Kim Jong-un, excuse me, Barack Obama.
Wow, so you're still doing it anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, we have a constitutional right to ride those streets. We pay taxes. We are the tax-paying Americans. They can't deny us riding the streets. It's going to take us, you know, 3 times longer to get through those streets now, because we won't have them blocked off, and we will have to stop at the stop signs and obey all the signs, you know, traffic signals. And that's fine. We'll do that. But, you know, had they issued the permit and had we had the police escort and assistance, we would have been done with this ride in less than, I'd say, 3 hours. Now it's going to take us 6, 7 hours.
It's authoritarianism. No, we're not going to give 2 million bikers a permit because that image is bad for Obama, but we will give it to a Muslim group.
Hi, you know, there's 2 million bikers, veterans, that think they're allowed to bike through D.C., but they were told they're not allowed to, and something really naughty happened today. Something really naughty and bad. They said they were going to go ahead and do it, and so we're going to be covering these extremists today. You've noticed the Homeland Security warnings saying veterans are the #1 terror threat. Well, now you see how truthful that is.
Well, don't be a freak out. By the way, those extremists in Washington, D.C., you know what the answer is, Alex. We need to ban bicycles, especially bicycles over 10 speeds. And that are
well, you can't trust a citizen with a big motorcycle. I mean, you might do something bad. You saw they defied the order. So we're going to have to ban all motorcycles, like the clown that made fun of Obama. Now all the clowns have to pay hundreds of dollars for sensitivity training. They're all guilty. Everyone that has a motorcycle needs to be given a ticket now for defying the incredible. Can we see the wonderful D.C. police chief? Can we see Janet Reno's friend?
Those were men that when someone who were nice and loving to their families, but if you tried to push them around, they couldn't back down because they were men. It's not normal to just keep backing down, but this whole world is about teaching us to back down, and I'm done doing it. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But you're going to do it, and you're going to stick to it.
And we will be doing this every year. So sorry, DC. Hopefully your parks people will start working with us.
It seems to me, as a non-traffic expert, it would be a lot easier to let you guys ride through than to have you stop at every stop sign, yield sign, and traffic circle. Belinda B., we're going to watch it. We're going to air your video tomorrow. Thank you for doing that rally and commemorating 9/11, because so many have forgotten. You haven't, and we appreciate that.
Well, thank you for having us on and letting us come and speak.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Right now, we have a link to live updates on the D.C. Bikers Stand Up for Free Speech and Defy Federal Tyranny. And then that'll be it for the transmission until tonight, 7 o'clock Central. InfoWars Nightly News will have updates on what happened with the, defying of the D.C. tyrants, the Kim Jong-un wannabes on the Potomac who said they couldn't drive through the town. Well, they did it anyways. That's up on Infowars.com.
Bikers rolled into Washington, D.C. today. They didn't have a permit, but they made it through anyway. In fact, parts of I-95 were closed as they rolled into town. They were there because the Million American March Against Fear, originally called the Million Muslim March, but was rechristened after the name prompted widespread publicity earlier this year, was there, and they were permitted by the National Park Service for 1,000 people for a location between 13th and 14th Streets in Northwest. And the bikers wanted to come in and stand against that, as it is 9/11, and they couldn't get permits. They said to the bike riders that they did not have what they needed, the resources to facilitate that sort of thing, but the bikers rolled into Washington anyway. So Washington officials could not grant 2 million bikers a permit for a rally, but they were able to give the Muslim March people a permit. So who is Washington, D.C. in bed with?
Hey, Alex. It's a pleasure to speak with you again. It's the second time I've been on the air. I just wanted to, well, first of all, give a quick shout-out to the great people that I met on the overpass protest in Richmond Heights.
The terrorist thing where, they were going to ban you and arrested people who went and did it. But then the next week, 5 times more showed up there, so they backed off. And the same thing, they told the motorcyclists they couldn't go through D.C., so they just defied them. See how that works? I'm sorry, go ahead.